Just say no to violence.
What's going on, everybody? I was watching some news about this homeless street performer that got choked out in New York City. I mean, I got stabbed in the back over by Tompkins Square Park, collapsed my lung for asking a girl for a cigarette back in 91, I think it was. Collapsed my lung, ended up in the hospital for a long time. I see a lot of these people defending the homeless guy. I'm not saying I wasn't there, so, we didn't see what happened up to that point. But I guess there's video surfacing of this guy attacking people, punching women in the face, throwing them in at the train. Like crazy stuff, right? But you hear a lot of people saying, well, they didn't see him commit a crime then. He wasn't committing a crime at that moment. I mean, he was freaking out, this and that. I mean, I grew up in the 80s. I was born in 1970. And I was a street kid all the time, punk rock, the underground music scene, all kinds of crazy stuff, party scene. And we knew plenty of homeless people, and sometimes we've had to subdue one or two, because they're freaking out, I mean, we've seen it happen many, many times, hundreds of times. People are saying, oh, well, I mean, the AOC's talking shit, like what a piece of trash that broad is. But anyway, to make a decision about it already, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense about what happened. But, people are saying, well, he wasn't committing a crime at the time. Yeah, but you don't know any of that, right? You don't know any of that. If someone's acting erratic and they're saying they'd rather go to jail, because if they go to jail, they can eat, and like bugging out on the subway, on the platform, or in the car, even worse, I mean, holding them down like that for that long. I mean, he was moving a lot of the time, so I guess he didn't think that. I mean, I've choked people out, it usually takes like a minute or two, and then you let them go and they're out, and you try to squash the situation, they were all trying to subdue him and this and that. I mean, you can say what you want about that. I'm not, I wasn't there. I don't know, exactly the ins and outs, but I mean, you have to be able to defend yourself, and if someone's acting erratic, schizophrenic, I mean, if you grew up in the streets, what's up with a lot of these homeless people, and I'm not saying that anybody should be choked to death or this and that, but other people shouldn't be punched in the face. They shouldn't be thrown in front of subway cars. They having a big issue with crime and violence in New York City right now, especially on the subway. So, I mean, people, they might have the defenses up. Like, we don't know, I judged by what the media told me. I mean, I guess they call it a red pilling, right? But it was a bunch of things kind of in quick succession that kind of changed my views on a lot of things. And one of them was the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. I know people hate Kyle Rittenhouse and all that, but again, they probably didn't watch the trial. They didn't watch like the detailed breakdown of all the videos of the incidents that happened. And they believe, I still see people all the time replying to DL Hughley's race baiting bullshit all the time and saying, well, Kyle Rittenhouse, his mother drove him over state lines with an illegal gun, and none of that's true. If you listen to the case and if you watched it and you just saying, you know what I mean? Save your judgment till the end, but it's this thing. Anyway, just, it's a tragedy, but it's a tragedy. And that being said, people do have the right to defend themselves. If someone's acting erratic and they're throwing that stuff on the ground and they're saying they'll go to jail, they don't care. They'll get something to eat there. It's quicker to go to jail than to deal with social services, which is fucking true. You know what I mean? And they make you jump through so many hoops and this and that. And they make you seem like a criminal and, a scumbag. And I mean, something needs to change in this system, in order for incidents like this to stop happening. You get these mass casualty incidents and all kinds of people are stressed out, man. You start acting up in public. What's the term? Fuck around and find out. Act up in public. He fucked around and he found out. I'm not saying that he should be dead, but everybody's all up in arms about it. They're starting like this big racial thing about it. And like, where the fuck was this kid's family? Where was his people? How come he was a homeless street performer? It didn't look like he was a street performer for quite some time. But where was his people at? You know what I mean? If you leave your people on the streets and you know that they're fucking unhinged and something like this happens to them, you left them out there to, like, well, I can't deal with them, so we'll just let the general public deal with them. And, I don't think that his parents or family members wanted it to be dealt with this way, but they weren't dealing with it. He was homeless, mentally ill, and none of his family was there for him. But I bet you you'll hear, there'll be, if Don Lemon was still on, there'd be interviews about, with his brother and, his estranged brother and mother and yada, 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 and this, and, I don't know enough about the guy, but come on, man. Like, you've all seen them on the subway. You've all seen them in public. And if they came running up to you or jumping in your face and just being cray, we don't know. We don't know what, you don't know what that person's capable of. Obviously they were capable of quite a bit, and again, fuck around, find out.